get these ones to go that way to get that one. Go that way. Why did it take so long? No one thinks it's very interesting.
take us to. So I think you just want another. Yeah. So like you basically just wanted to rearrange.